So what's up everybody, me Mudahar. Today we've got an amazing IRL creepypasta, one that's actually all about fucking GameStop. Now, I'm not a man that likes to go all digital. I like owning a physical disc for my game every once in a while, alright? In fact, most of the while. I do prefer owning physical copies. Call me old-fashioned, call me someone that just likes the feeling of sticking a disc into my system, and you know what? Some people, they don't get the appeal. I have the appeal for it, okay? We're all different people, but if there's one thing that I cannot side with is GameStop. GameStop is the kind of company, or the business rather, where if I had to buy a game from GameStop, or have my anal cavity completely split open by a raging bull, I'd probably pick the bull every time. In fact, I'm picking the bull in my head right now. I'm getting dirty thoughts, but this is why I definitely cannot get down with a GameStop. Now, I've been reading this article where it's like teenagers don't like to buy GameStops. And being a stock trader now, I can actually show you a graph of GameStop where the trajectory is just downwards. And there's a reason why GameStop stock, or rather its influence in the industry, is headed downwards. It is a company that offers almost nothing of value anymore when it comes to video gaming. Now, for me, when I look at digital media, digital games in this instance, I have a love for digital games when it comes to multiplayer only stuff. If I know that the game is only multiplayer and I know that I'm going to be playing it pretty actively, and it's just an online only game, let's say something like Rainbow Six Siege, then of course I'd have to get that game digitally. I mean, there's really no reason to be fussing around with a disc that literally just acts as copy protection. It becomes cumbersome. If the game has the online only to it, I'm probably just going to buy it. Unless it's on a really good deal, then I'll end up getting the physical disc. But if it ain't, then I'm going to go digital. But when it comes to a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War or Spider-Man or Halo or whatever in this instance, a game that I know has an offline component, a pretty strong offline component, and in general is a good game, a game that I'll enjoy, yeah, I'll get it physical. I mean, without a doubt. I love having 1.0 versions of games. I love having the ability to play a game from start to finish without ever needing to connect online in PlayStation's case. And I think Xbox as well. I'm not so sure about that console. It's been a weird one. But yeah, that's usually my take on the situation. Now, for me to really talk about what I want to over here, I have to really tell you guys why retail has not caught up at all. You know, retail is one of those things that needed to evolve like years ago. You know, when this generation of gaming started, like, 2012, at that point, digital was about to hit that burst. It was bursting at that point. You know, before that, we had just recently started to get full game launches on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. You know, Steam has had it for a while. I wasn't against digital to begin with. I do it for PC 100% of the way. But digital had just started to emerge in 2012. So you have companies like GameStop who literally thrived at the time by basically not just selling new games, but by taking used games, pricing them $5 below the new one, and selling it back to you in some vein that they would make some obscene profit margin for very little changes. For now, putting yourself in the consumer perspective, like if you ask me, saving $5 for a new game versus a pre-owned, somebody came in the middle of their fucking disc, yeah, that's a little bit of a change, all right? I'm obviously going to buy the new one if it's a $5 difference. You know, sometimes GameStop likes to pester you with the Edge cards as well, too. That never fucking works. I have not saved a fucking dime with the Edge program, okay? With the fucking EB Games gold, platinum, fucking diamond pickaxe membership. Never has happened. But apparently, you go into the future, maybe you might save $1 or $2 a year, I don't know. So retail hasn't changed at all. If you walk into any GameStop nowadays, or EB Games or whatever, EB Games is still kind of cooler, you'll notice one thing. Now the game walls, where they used to have Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo usually dominating, each cardinal direction, right? Each cardinal direction would get their own fucking wall. Now, one wall is just dedicated to all the platforms. So your PS4 is dedicated to one, Xbox One is dedicated a little off to that, and Nintendo one side. So what's the rest of the store filled with? Well, it's filled with fucking Funko Pops or Fortnite Monopoly. I shit you not. Last time I walked into a GameStop, and this was a little drunk, by the way, too, so I wasn't even at full faculties. There was Fortnite Monopoly staring across from me when I was making a purchase. Why the hell You look at that and you wonder, obviously they're not selling enough games anymore. Now they got to sell you Monopoly themed versions of Fortnite or God knows whatever else. Or they got to sell you a whole card. Like if a blind person walked into the store, you could literally tell them the entire north side of this store is Funko Pops. So even the shit that you can get online through Amazon, whatever, that's what they're selling. That's apparently where the money is made from this store. It used to be a point where I could walk into a GameStop and you had to get your new games kind of from here. Sometimes, the only saving grace that this company has is some of the employees who are actually fun to talk to. There's a GameStop that I go to. It's a little out of the way for me, but the employees over there are pretty kick-ass individuals. It is literally just that. That's it. That's the only thing that could make me come back to it. Because the problem with GameStop is that it really doesn't give you any deals. Here's the thing. This kind of goes to not just GameStop, but every mom and pop shop as well. There's a channel on YouTube called Silent Rob. You should go check it out. He made like an hour-long video talking about the retail games issue, right? He made an hour-long video talking about mom and pop shops, GameStop, whatever you want to call it. The problem is, with GameStop, and this isn't so much as GameStop's fault, there's really no deals to be made. Whatever price that GameStop puts up, whatever deal that they put up, always gets beaten by a fucking Walmart or a Best Buy, which is another big chain. So of course you're going to go to one of those stores and get the game if it's a cheaper price, right? And when you look at a mom and pop shop who's also in the service of retail, the reason why they're losing a lot of customers as well too is not because they refuse to compete. Where I live, there's a couple mom and pop shops that exist. But the problem with some of these mom and pop shops is they will not give you a fucking deal. They will not try to help you. Let me give one example. A game called Yakuza 3, which is one of my favorite PS3 games. Great fucking game, by the way. Costs $60 to get through Amazon, right? 60 Canadian. And the reason for it is because the game is a rarer print. Not a lot of it was sold, I guess. It's just rare to get. So for me to go on Amazon right now, I can pay $60 and get it off Amazon, which, is kind of what I had to do to play the game, right? Now, the thing about that is there was a copy at a local mom and pop shop down near, the downtown where I live, and they had a copy of Yakuza 3. Now, the price was literally the same as Amazon. So what would happen is they would get these games in like shipment, like bulks. They would buy them pre-owned, right? You would look on like Craigslist, Kijiji, whatever the fuck that existed. You would find people that were selling like a PlayStation console with like 15 games, and they would buy that. They would price each item individually and make profit off of it. So when they got a copy of Yakuza 3, they went on Amazon. They're like, oh, well, it costs $60 to buy on Amazon. Guess the price we're selling it at is $60. Even though if you were to give me eBay, Amazon, online prices, why the fuck would I buy it at your store? And then you're going to complain that your store doesn't make any money because you're not giving a deal. You're telling me to get out of my house, spend my gas money, drive my car over to your place, all right, find the game if it even is in stock. I got to do that because you don't have a website or the employee doesn't have the, I guess, time to check it for you. You have to go there, buy the game for that same price as you could get it online. And it's the same thing with GameStop. The games that come out there are $79.99, right? Brand new. There is no better way to... There are deals you can get sometimes where if you trade in like 25 billion games, you can get maybe $40 off your next one. That doesn't fucking help you. All right, that really doesn't fucking help you. Everything is skewed so much in terms of GameStop favor. It's almost like an 80-20 in their favor. And it's almost as if it's obviously insulting to the consumer, and it's no surprise why that doesn't exist. So when you start reading articles about why GameStop or really any retail doesn't succeed so much, is because they never put the effort to compete with the online marketplaces as well. And it's understandable. Online is obviously cheaper to run an overhead on, right? Something like Amazon, they have one central location where they ship out from versus, Walmart, GameStop, where they have multiple stores to upkeep, employees, all that good stuff. But the thing is, if you want to thrive in this business, you have to learn to adapt and change. I'm sorry. If the internet exists, it means I can spend my day working or going out to places, having a good time. I could go down to the city, have a great time. And I can order something off the internet and it ships to my house that day or the next day. I can wait. That's not even an inconvenience to me. It'll show up by the time I get home from work or from a friend's place. That's just the kind of world we live in. And when you got companies like GameStop, okay, you got companies like companies like any retail organization, and then they complain about not making sales or game sales are slowing down. You looked at so many articles just last month with things like The Division 2 where physical game sales were down. That's a game I actually ended up buying physical, not from GameStop, but from fucking Walmart. And the thing is, with that game, obviously it was going to drop. It's an online-only game. It's just more convenient to buy those things online, and there's just really no incentive being given to the consumer for purchasing these products at their stores anymore. So anytime I hear something about GameStop, I'm always going to sit there and wonder, why is anyone surprised? This is a failing company that has literally not changed, not adapted, and has not realized that the only way to stay afloat is to seek the equilibrium between it and the consumer. If you're not willing to respect the consumer's GameStop, then don't fucking be surprised that you're running out of business. Don't be surprised that there are stores that are closing down. Don't be surprised the whole fucking wall is dedicated to fucking Funko Pops. Your store needs to change, all right? And you know what? It's a long time being said, but I guess I kind of went into every tangent. I talked about GameStop, retail, and even mom and pop shops, who I believe still also need to adapt. There are some grave issues in the retail front, that's for goddamn sure. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I really had to say to it. I feel as though I got my piece out. There's even more that you can talk into this situation, but at the end of the day, I've gotten my piece out of it. So let me know what you think about GameStop in the comment section below, because I know there's a lot of people who do enjoy it. Kyle for sure definitely likes it. He has a great experience. I wish I could have his experience. I fucking don't. But let me know what you think. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it, and let me know what Funko Pop I should get. I am out.